say how honored I am to be here. I want to tell you that I am here for two reasons. One is I do want, more than I can say, to help Kirsten Gillibrand become the next representative of this district. Second reason is I was sent here. This is Hillary's birthday today. I said, what do you want me to do for your birthday? She said, I want you to go to upstate New York and help Kirsten Gillibrand win that election. And then she said, and while you're up there, you might get me a vote or two if you can. I want to thank Rahm Emanuel. Many of you know that Rahm was one of the most important members of my White House staff. He was also critical to the fact that I was ever elected president. He came to work for me as my finance director in late 1991 when I was running 5th in the polls in New Hampshire, and only my mother thought I could win. Hillary and Chelsea were still undecided at that time. And Rahm Emanuel made me a competitive candidate partly because people just got tired of his badgering them. And they just told him yes to get him off the phone. He has been, without doubt, the finest chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee we ever had. We have, I'm so grateful. And finally, let me say, I know we're here, I want you to know why we're here. Instead of Saratoga, they couldn't guarantee, with the weather coming on, that I could get my plane in. And I also have been given other instructions from my senator about wherever else I have to campaign today. But I do want to say something. I hope I can come back to Saratoga, because when my mother was a great racing fan, and at the time I started running for president, she had been ill with cancer, and she knew that she had a limited amount of time to live. And when I got out here and started around in national politics, she said one of the things that she really wanted to do while she was still on this earth is to go to Saratoga to the races, and she got it done. I'd like to begin by thanking Kirsten for her service when I was president as special counsel to the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. And she's like Rahm. I find that people do better in Congress if they've had a little experience in the executive branch first. I respect the fact that she has run this campaign on keeping America safe, restoring fiscal responsibility, targeting tax cuts to middle-class Americans, investing in economic development to bring jobs back to this district and to raise incomes. I respect the fact that she has pledged and will keep her pledge to actually support our troops and veterans instead of just talk about it. If you compare that to the record of this Congress, this Republican Congress, they took us from a $240 billion surplus to record deficits. They added $3 trillion to the national debt. This year they asked for a merit badge because the deficit was only $250 billion. Oh, and they bragged about it, except they didn't tell you that, unlike when we were there in my second term, they started counting the Social Security receipts against the deficit. The real deficit is well over $400 billion this year. We can do better than that. Then they said, they've cut aid to college at a time when tuition is exploding. They eliminated the program to put police on the street at a time when violence is increasing. They did not implement the 9/11 Commission report's recommendations, and they've had years to do it. And at every turn they said, well, we can't do that because we have a deficit. They even refused to pay a bonus to our soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan, a little $1,500 bonus. We can't do that because we got a deficit. But you got to forgive me, folks, I love saying this. I never had a nickel to my name until I got out of the White House. I had the lowest net worth of any president in the 20th century when I landed. But now I am the most important person in the entire world. To the Republican leadership in Congress and the White House, I am a millionaire, and they love me more than life. So, I gotta get this straight. We couldn't afford to keep up the college assistance program. We couldn't afford to pay our veterans a bonus. They tried to make veterans health care more expensive. We couldn't afford the 9/11 Commission recommendations, but their #1 priority last year was further estate tax relief for a few thousand, 8 or 10,000 American families at a cost of, get this, $250 billion over 10 years, $25 billion a year, far, far more than it would have cost to restore the cuts of the college loan program, start the COPS program again, take care of the veterans, and implement the 9/11 Commission recommendations. They are a special interest party dedicated to the concentration of wealth and power. We are the party of equal opportunity, real responsibility, and inclusive.